that an African king sailed to these shores. They never told you that in Christopher Columbus's journals, he wrote to the Queen Isabella of Spain, saying that the natives that they encountered were so nice, they could slaughter them with a few hundred men. But most importantly, they were given gold-tipped spears. Well, those gold-tipped spears have been carbon dated back to the 13th century, coming directly from Africa. So don't take my word for it. Look it up. It ain't going to be in your history books, but it's out there if you want to know. But that's why the Black History Toolkit is important, because where did we learn our history before we got into school? Can anybody tell me? Uh-oh, I heard somebody say, well, can I get an amen? Somebody said the church. Somebody said the house, Big Mama's house, Grandma's house, or as Bill Withers would say, Grandma's hands. That's where we learned it. That's why I learned it. Sitting around, and Granny be sitting around telling us all these stories, how she voted for John F. Kennedy in 1960 and Roosevelt in the 1930s. Granny was telling us. We didn't quite understand then, but we understand now. It is imperative that we teach our history, because if we do not teach our history, it will be gone. It will be destined to repeat it. And I believe a great poet once said, history, despite its rich in pain, if really known, if it's true horrors, need not be lived again. That's what she was trying to sum it up. If we tell this history like it truly is, we don't have to live it again. But now her book has been banned. I know why. Cageburn saying it's banned. Your child screwed. Ruby Bridges. Who is going to ban a book about Ruby Bridges? It's still in for now. We're going to make sure it's still in your classroom, right? I know that's right, sister. Yes, ma'am. But this is what we are fighting. So we created this toolkit to help everybody, because we have to be honest with ourselves. Even us adults have to be re-educated, because the way we've been taught is not the way that we should have been taught. Napoleon Bonaparte said it best. History is written by the winners. So there was a reason after the Civil War in the 1800s, when Lincoln was assassinated and Andrew Johnson became president, and everybody knew Andrew Johnson was racist. He didn't like black people at all. He made no quarrels with that. But what did he do? He made sure that every Confederate soldier and general did not get prosecuted. He made sure that they all got pardoned and were able to go back to the South, go back to Georgia, go back to Alabama, go back to Mississippi, go back to Florida. And you know what they created? The Ku Klux Klan, Jim Crow, the Southern Baptist Convention, the Southern Strategy. And you know who helped preserve that history for their children? It was a group called the Southern Daughters of the Confederacy. They were able to implement and make sure those people who were demonized by the Union for being traitors, they were going to turn them into gods and heroes. That's why you think growing up, General Custer was a good dude. Yeah. And you start really reading why Geronimo and them boys did what they did. You start learning the history of what was happening to the Native people. And I learned the history because I found out that my family is part Native American, which a lot